Good morning, everybody. This is Jeff Veal, the business guru from downtown Manila, with another celebrity guest on our show today. We've got I've never interviewed a kangaroo before, let alone a decaffeinated one. Good morning and welcome, Jeff Ross.
G'day, mate. Decaffeinated, is it? I wouldn't know if I call myself a celebrity, but thank you very much for the accolades. I pretty appreciate you.
No trouble. Jeff, tell us a bit about yourself and how you got started and the journey you've been on, please.
Yeah, cool. So, 2009, go way back then. Doctors put me on disability pension. I had a horse jump my neck, and when me mid-20s, and I ended up with three crushed discs in the back of my neck and buggered up my brachial plexus area. And so, working on the land, working on cattle stations and horse studs, doctors pretty much wrote me off after that accident. So, at that time, newly married, had my first son on the way, thinking, crap, what am I going to do to provide this family I just started? So after I got through the cycle of loss of identity and all of that sort of thing that goes with that, picked myself up, dust myself up again, realized I got nothing but time on my hands. So I went to the internet and I started to learn how to build websites and do this thing called Facebook advertising and social media advertising. So way back, when Facebook launched, so 2009, 2010, I was one of the first guys here in Australia to really launch and pioneer that space. That shifted into starting a digital marketing agency around 2011, 12. I did the mistake of going into the relationship with partnership, not realizing that, at that time, young and naive, that partners are pretty much like going into a marriage. So we had a digital marketing agency where we built websites, did Facebook ads, like, service-based stuff for small to medium-sized businesses, Australia and New Zealand. That partnership imploded on itself about 18 months into the journey. I kept that business going. We fast forward to 2017, and I had a bit of an itch to pivot. I felt like I needed to walk my own talk, if you will. Prove to people that what I was doing. We were having lots of success for our clients, but I just wanted to take it that next level and actually implement what we were doing for our clients for myself. And so this was back in the days where drop shipping started to really hit the scene, and e-commerce and all of that, so Amazon stuff. So I started an e-commerce business. I hooked up with a guy by the name of Adrian Morrison from ecom Success Academy. So with my background that I already had, with his blueprint, implemented it, the blueprint. We started a Shopify site and drop shipping business. Within 4 months, we did $1.6 million
Amazing.
selling a stuffed toy elephant of all things, around the world. Um, Once again, that business it grew too fast, and I learned what about through that 4 or 5 months what I was really great at, and that was the front end, the marketing, the tech side of things, like the front end. But I struggled with the back end stuff. I sucked at it. I learned a few very hard lessons through that, having to deal with Chinese suppliers when they run out of stock and, demand issues because they couldn't keep up with the demand. That led to customer service issues, that led to logistics, and that business just imploded on itself because had to refund a lot of people because I didn't have the product to give them. So I learned a few lot of hard lessons through that. Basically went through a 4-year business marketing degree, university degree in 4 months, through that school of
Wow.
hard knock. Dust myself off again, go back to what I know, and with a newfound, knowledge base with, the few key lessons. So two things that worked really well for me in that e-commerce arena was the power of nailing your niche, really getting your niche audience right and your niche service right. Like there's two ways to niche down. There's your tribe, and then there's your service. So nailing your niche, and then the power of automated systems. Like that. The main reason that business fell over on me was because I didn't have a lot of automation in it. I was doing it all manually. Got to the point where I, got so overwhelmed. Actually, I had to. I a little bit too little, too late. But I scrambled and I hired 5 Filipino VAs
Wow.
to process the orders for me. We were doing like 500 orders a day. I was manually processing orders, and I was
Oh,
doing probably
goodness.
150 a day. I couldn't keep up with it. So it just created a perfect storm scenario. So with those lessons, I went back to the digital marketing agency, and I started a business called Your Marketing Nerd, and we specialized in creating customer acquisition pipelines for massage centers, chiropractors, gyms, beauty centers, so health and wellness industry. And we became the go-to people in Australia here and in New Zealand to, help you to look after your lead generation and your customer acquisition pipelines for those businesses. Fast forward to COVID, I had to that point of COVID, when COVID hit, I had 5 guys working for me full time, doing about $750,000 a year in monthly retainers, and then COVID hit. And because we had niched down in the health industry, we got locked down hard, and I lost that business overnight. And
Yeah, like many others, unfortunately.
yeah, I had a few friends that actually committed suicide through that for similar
Oh my
reasons, but
goodness. Yeah.
another story for another day. So yeah, it was a hard time, but I also saw it come out of that, fast forward, I saw it as a blessing in disguise because, in that season, I was that workaholic father. I was on the road to burnout, doing 70, 80 hours a week, managing that business. And yeah, look, we're having lots of success, but, I've got 3 young boys, now 12, 11, and 8, and I was missing out on that quality time with them. So coming out of COVID, I knew what I was good at. I knew what I didn't want to do anymore. And it was what I didn't want to build another website. I didn't want to do Facebook ads for clients or anything like that. I was just totally burnt out with that. Had a lot of success, could go do it very well again, especially with tools like ChatGPT, but just the thought of that now just makes my skin crawl. So I knew what I didn't want to do. I knew who I could really serve really well. And I knew what I wanted to do and create a life by design. So I love travel, and that's always been a big part of our lives. And so fast forward to January 2022, a good friend of mine, Kylie, actually, we've done some things together in business, last decade. She is one of the top leaders here in Australia for a company called Dream Trips, introduced me to Dream Trips. And now fast forward, I'm one of the top 3 global recruiters in the world for this company. And last 12 months, I've started up a social selling AI mastery coaching business, teaching people in
Fantastic.
network marketers, especially, and affiliate marketers, how to leverage, social selling and AI content and that sort of thing.
Wow, with three boys and a wife to look after, how do you find the time, Jeff? What's the secret?
Structure, systems, balance.
Yeah, true.
So basically, if it's not my calendar, it doesn't get done. And I read a book about 8 years ago, and essentially, I'm trying to think of the author's name and the name of the book now, but the principle of the book was, schedule your life out and where you put your big rocks in first. So if
Yeah,
I look at my calendar, I've got family, I'm a member of our church, so I've got our church activities, I've got our family activities, I've got, time with the wife blocked out, I've got dates with the kids blocked out. So I've got
very
all the
good.
big rocks first. And
Yeah,
then I
very
look
structure is very important.
yeah, then I look at my standard meetings and I put them in, and then anything white spaces where I fill in the gaps.
Yeah,
So
you reading much these days, Jeff?
yeah, I try to read at least 1 book a month. And
Fantastic. Yeah,
I'm
readers are
not a very,
leaders, guys.
they are, but I'm not a naturally born gifted reader. I've had to
Yeah,
really
like
force
me.
myself to get into that.
Yeah,
So
it's got to be interesting, doesn't it?
yes, yeah, it's got to be something that serves, I believe, and my biggest passions at the moment is leadership and community. Like learning how to build communities and lead people. So anything in
Hmm.
that realm, I love reading.
Yeah, you've done that very well. How does one go about joining this travel club, Jeff? It sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, cool. Just reach out to me, have a chat. I can share a little 20-minute video with you to see if it's a good fit for you.
Hmm.
And we can go from there. At the moment, we've got a promotion going where you can join for just $1,
Wow.
and you can come along for a 30-day trial, come
Hmm.
see how it all works, and you come join the team and yeah, see if it's a good fit.
Yeah, you got any trips on the horizon yourself, Jeff, this year?
Sure do. So my beautiful wife is actually just coming home from Jamaica right now. I was
Awesome.
actually meant to be going with her to that one trip, but my mum's sick, so she couldn't look after her boys. So I thought if I went on another solo trip by myself, I might end up in divorce. So
Especially if you went to Thailand by yourself, you'd be in big trouble.
well, I'm actually going to Thailand with my middle son, Lachlan. So we're going to Thailand in August. Um,
Fantastic.
I'll have a son at so. But we're off to the Great Barrier Reef, so Airlie Beach in June.
Wow, that'd be
So
nice.
Thailand in August, and then in October. October's going to be a big month. October, I'm taking the family to Greece for a week,
Wow. Yes,
and then my son and my oldest son and I are going to fly from Greece to India and going to go to a mission trip in India in October.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, have laptop, will travel. Uh,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
certainly living the life.
that's it. It's all about the laptop lifestyle, leading the way.
Yeah, tell us about your journey with helping dad entrepreneurs, Jeff. That's a very interesting thing that you're doing. One of the few people I know that's actually reaching out and helping people in that ilk.
Yeah. So, as a social selling coach, one of the number one primary things that we teach at the very beginning is the power of niching down. You know, I've been doing this for 16 years now, and the number one mistake I see people do is they try to market to everybody. You end up marketing to everybody, effectively market to nobody. And when you're spinning your wheels and you're just not getting traction, 9 times out of 10 is because your niche is just not niche down enough. So I lead by example, and so that was the reason. So when I started looking at, okay, what is my niche? I started looking around and said, well, hang on. Normally your niche is a reflection of who you were or who you are or that type of thing. So I'm a dad, and it started off with, I just wanting to serve workaholic fathers. It went deeper than that. I realized that workaholic fathers is a pretty broad, term.
Yes.
There's corporate, there's military, there's whatever service industry, they're still there, right? So I realized that I still wasn't niche down enough. So then it transformed into working with burnt out, busy biz owner dads, because I wanted to work with the guys who had that employer mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset versus the employee mindset. So and working with people just like myself is a reflection of that. And so the power of niching down. And when I started looking at it all too, I saw a lot of women groups, a lot of empowered mums groups, a lot of empowered women groups, and I saw there's nothing there for dads.
Yeah,
Yeah, there are
the women do it very well.
yeah, there are a few, but yeah, exactly. So, one of the things that I've learned in marketing essentially is rip it off and redevelop it. R and
I
R.
like that. I like that. I like that.
So like find what somebody else is doing really well in a different niche or a different audience or a different tribe or a different whatever, and then work out how can you redevelop it.
That's right. That's my mantra as well. I've done it all my life. Why
Mm.
reinvent the wheel? Just
Mm.
improve the wheel. Don't reinvent it. Improve it.
Yeah, it's good. I call R and R it, rip it off and redevelop it.
I love that one. It's a great. I'm going to use that one. That's fantastic. And tell me, what's been some of your biggest wins in recent months?
Yeah, great question. So just recently I've been doing these little masterclasses, collaboration projects. And so, I started off there about 12 months ago building the laptop lifestyle of dad's brand. And I'm a pretty animated character, so I can definitely influence on that. But I hit a bit of a plateau, in my growth and my circle influence. And I was looking for ways to, start to go to that next level,
Correct.
every
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
at every level has a level, right? So
Yes.
looking at how do I continue to grow myself and I've been studying a few of some of the few of the leaders and thought leaders in our space and seeing it's sort of like almost the evolution of podcasts. It's these collaboration masterclasses and using our communities to overlap and using that shared authority from each other to be able to get to a exposure to a whole new community that I otherwise wouldn't have got, just like this call, but doing
Correct.
a masterclass and leading with value and it's something that's really attractive that serves your tribe has taken that whole concept to the next level. And so we had a really successful one there last week. I'm actually just about to launch another one tomorrow. And yeah, been pretty awesome results so far.
I'll
So
drop.
early
I'll drop.
days.
I'll drop the link in about that one, Jeff. That'd be interesting to a lot of people out there because I know what you mean by plateau. You hit a certain point and you just start knocking yourself out, and you can't seem to break through the glass ceiling, so to speak.
Mm, mm. So yeah, and I look at characters who have been very successful in attraction marketing in general.
Yes.
And the number one primary character that comes to mind that's has done it very successfully, doesn't matter what tool or platform that she's ever used, is Oprah Winfrey. And if you look at what Oprah's done in her career,
Yeah.
essentially
Remarkable woman.
yeah, I mean, essentially all she did was interview people,
Yeah,
and, you know,
true.
and bring those
And give value, give away stuff, give value.
give value, like lead with value. And she shared her insights and she coached people through that. But she interviewed a lot of people and brought their value to the world too.
Yeah,
And it's not there's a coin now, there's a term called the Oprah Winfrey effect. You get
right.
on the Oprah, you get massive exposure and also there's a massive uptick going, right? It's the Oprah Winfrey effect. But it
Yes.
all started off her just really just interviewing people and just leading with massive value, being authentic, raw, and real.
Yeah, very good, very good insight. Tell me, how did the kangaroo come about? I love your persona. Where'd the kangaroo come from? Tell us the kangaroo story.
Great story. So I was been playing around with AI now for the last 12 months and ChatGPT and all of that sort of thing and starting to really create a brand, the
Yes.
elements of a brand, it's memorable, those type of things, right? Those characteristics. And I wanted to create a brand around, the laptop lifestyle dads that, it's Jeff Ross. Nobody else could, duplicate. It's me.
Right.
It's authentic.
Yes.
And I started off with that brand, being known as the king of dad jokes and being the Aussie larrikin and all of that. And I came across a couple of other people saying how excited they were, and how fired up they were. Their way of saying that, right? And I thought that's a really good sort of way to, help sort of build the brand on as well. And then I started reflecting on Steve Irwin, crikey, Terry, would you look at this marvelous stuff?
I love Steve. Yeah.
And then back in the 90s here in Australia, we had this guy called Big Kev,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
And his
He's
slogan was
excited.
excited. The way he said it, right? It was just so much Paris, so much character.
I thought you might be his son when I first met you.
So I grabbed those two characters and I put them into Chatty or ChatGPT as I call it. And I just said to Chatty, I said, here's the prompt. I want you to help me come up with a slogan that expresses how excited I am, but with an Aussie tinge to it, and all that sort of thing. So it came up with 10 different suggestions. Three of them were was I'm as pumped up as a platypus in a pool party. And I'll give him a shout out to Dave Miller. He's taken that one. He's run with that one.
Yeah, Dave's an
Um,
awesome guy.
yeah, Dave's a real good guy. The other one was I'm as what was it? I'm as excited as a Tassie devil in a tinny. So think of like a
Right.
Tasmanian in a
Yeah.
tinny, those
Wouldn't
aluminium.
be bad. Seeing you're in Tasmania, it wouldn't be too bad. Yeah.
Right? But then it come up. The last one come up with it was I'm as excited as a caffeinated kangaroo jumping on a trampoline. I don't know. That just ran with that, and I started playing around with that and just ran with it. And
Fantastic.
so Caffeinated Kangaroo was born from that. And then we started playing with AI imagery and bringing him to life. And now Dave and I are playing around with AI video avatars. And he's about to take a whole nother level. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's been
I
a
couldn't believe
kangaroo.
it when I came across it. I thought, who the hell is this guy? And then and literally, you hopped up everywhere, all over my screen, almost daily, but
Yeah.
you can't stop the kangaroo. Once he starts bouncing, away he goes, you
Well,
know.
part of me naturally is right. It's ADHD on overdrive. So like the kangaroo just suits that. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's created that memorable experience, that memorable brand. And what's fascinating though is I started with the caffeinated kangaroo. And then it's funny, like my circle of influence, my tribe, they I didn't encourage them to do it or anything like that. They just started duplicating. And now there's
I
the
saw that.
pumped up, the platypus, there's the digital nomad Kiwi with Cole in New Zealand, there's the Lux
Yeah, that's
Lioness,
fantastic.
there's
You created
there's
a whole tribe
it's
there.
like almost like a little movement going.
And the funny thing is, they're all really, I think you'd agree, they're all extremely nice people, very helpful people,
Yeah.
always happy to have a chat and share their ideas. So they're great people. You've really started a movement, Jeff. Jeff, we'll wrap this up today. What's your one piece of advice if you had to give someone starting out in business a piece of advice, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, get out of your head, get into your heart. Is what jumps to mind right now. And don't let the reason you started something be your excuse not to do it. Like really, it's really coming back down to that why. I've done a lot of study into this why with Simon Sinek and all of that sort of thing. And it's not finding a why that's just superficial, like, I've got to make money, I've got to pay the bills. That's a superficial why. It's going deeper. It's finding that why that drives you to get out of bed each day. It's finding that type of why that's just your guiding star, your absolute purpose. And when you can find that, and then find who your tribe is, like so niching down and nailing your niche, and then use those two elements to help come up with your brand mission statement, like your purpose statement. Everything that you'll do will be a role running through that. Now that becomes your guiding North Star to keep you on your tracks. I see it all the time at the moment that everybody jumps into the make money online industry, right? To make money online.
Yes. Yes.
They're looking for ways to create a side hustle or create an extra income or whatever that is. That's the impulse, but you're not going to stay there doing that because it's hard yakka. You got to go for a
Absolutely.
sleep.
Yeah.
You've got to know once you've got the money or what's going to keep you going, even if you're not making the money, and keep you moving forward. Well, it's that deeper underlining why and serving your tribe. This is where I say get out of your head and just get into your heart and just show up and shine.
No.
So like,
Great,
this.
great advice, Jeff. Tell me, if someone wants to reach out and contact you, you're up for having a chat to people and putting them on the right track?
Mate, of course I'm up for a chat. I think I could talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, right?
Yeah, fantastic. How do people go about contacting Jeff? What's the best way to? I'll drop a few of your socials in the chat later. What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
The best way is just through contact me on Facebook Messenger. So just
Right.
reach out to my profile there, or reach out to our Laptop Lifestyle Dads community. And my email is Jeff, so JEFF at LLD, so Laptop Lifestyle Dads, LLD.email.
Fantastic. Well, guys, it's been a wonderful occasion interviewing Jeff Ross. He's an amazing character. And look up, if you go onto YouTube, look up Big Kev, you'll swear that Jeff's his son. So, guys, if you want to come on to a podcast like this and promote yourselves, reach out to me, Jeff Veal, the business guru. Love to have you on the show and get your 15 minutes of fame, just like Jeff has. And guys, I recommend you watch this video several times because Jeff's dropped a lot of golden nuggets there and he's got a lot of good stuff coming up. So make sure you follow him and you won't go wrong. Thanks for being on the show today, Jeff. I'll wrap it up now and have a great day, buddy.
Absolute pleasure. See you, mate.
All right. All the best. Bye-bye.